We ready. Hey y'all, hey. It's Tuesday. You know what that means. We are live and direct. We are ready to talk about some money. We are talking about money for like 4 weeks straight, right? So last week we talked to Agnes Kowalski and I quoted Zig Ziglar, right? And you know how people are like, oh, money isn't everything, money isn't everything. And Zig Ziglar's like, money may not be everything, but it ranks right up there with hey, make sure you give StreamYard permission. I see a hey ma'am, but it just says Facebook user. So if you look up above in the comments, it says, give StreamYard permission to use your name so I can actually see your name in the comments. So right now I just say, hey ma'am. So you gotta let me know who you are or give StreamYard permission to show your name and beautiful face. So let me know who that is. So hopefully you're hearing me okay. If you can let me know that you hear me okay, I'd appreciate it. We were having a little bit of technical difficulties before we went live, and so the audio was sounding a little wonky. So we want to make sure that we are heard loud and clear because Stacey is coming to drop some serious info with us today about how to add a zero to our income without the hustle. But before we go into all of that, I would love to know if you're here. Let me know your name. Drop a hey girl, hey, drop a orange heart. Let me know you're here. As you see, I am minding my Black-owned business today. I've forgotten her name, but it was like Ketley's Closet or something like that. It's not that though. But I'll drop it in the I'll drop it in the chat if you're interested in getting one. Hey girl, hey Tiffany. Yay. Okay, so Stacey's back. So Stacey and I were having a little bit of tech issues. So I'm going to add her so we can make sure that we hear her loud and clear. So I'm bringing on Stacey Hylen. Hey Stacey.
Hey, happy to be here.
Yes, it worked. Yes.
Yay.
All
That's
right, all
good.
right,
That's
all
good
right.
news.
Good. So Tiffany is here with us. So who else is here in the chat? Drop your name in the comments. And just in case, if you have not given StreamYard your permission to put your name up, so we will only see it says Facebook user. As you can see here, it says, hey ma'am, Facebook user. So definitely let us know who's saying hey, because we want to know who you are so we can shout you out. I am super excited to have this conversation today with Stacey Hylen, who I'm going to introduce momentarily. But just as background, this is a weekly series that we're doing for the next 3 weeks as we lead up to the No Small Business. Manifest it, multiply it, mind it, Money Summit, the only money summit you will need for 2021 and beyond. If you know me at all, you know sometimes lightning bolts hit my head and I come up with these ideas. And I was thinking, I don't even know I was thinking. I don't think I was thinking. It was like probably one of those woo-woo moments. Like if you were here with Aggie, right? We talked about subconscious and manifesting and mindset. And it was like, okay, well, you manifest money, but how do I make more money? Then when I get it, how do I mind it and make sure that I'm tracking it? And it just sort of gelled. I was like, oh my gosh, Agnes Kowalski is so great. And if you watch that live or the replay, you know that she knows her stuff when it comes to getting out of our own way, playing with our money, right? So she's going to be talking to us about how to manifest more money, get the gunk out of our head so that we can go after more, but regardless of the stories we heard growing up. And then I was like, Stacey, she teaches us how to add a zero in a way like no one else can. So Stacey, I was like, Stacey, can you help us like make more of it? Right? Like now we can make some, let's make more. And then Nicole Barham is minded, and she has great strategies for how you track your money so you stay on top of it. Because once you get it, you got to make sure that you're allocating it properly and making sure that you're tracking it, because that's the only way to have a holistic relationship with our money. Hey, ladies, if you have not given StreamYard your permission to use your name, as it says in the comments above this, in the caption, then we can't see your name. So just let us know who you are. So hey, ladies, Facebook user, we appreciate you. Yes, money manifestation, we appreciate you. So last week we talked about how to manifest it. This week we're gonna multiply it. Oh, I'm
So
excited.
fun. so
So
much.
Stacey Hylen, I met her in person. She gave
In real life.
in real life before
We are
everything closed.
thing.
So we met in person. She gave an incredible talk on finding extra money in your business because it's there. And as some of you know, I have the Her Power Space, co-working space located here in Broward County. And I opened it COVID year, right? I keep referring to last year as 2019. Like every time I go last year, I'm really talking about something that happened in 2019. But last year, the real last year, 2020, January, I opened a co-working space, right? Who'd have thunk that you shouldn't open a space where people come together in a year when a pandemic, when people are supposed to stay apart, is on the horizon? Who knew? I surely did not. However, in the midst of all the craziness and all of my own angst and misery, Stacey was a constant, right? Behind the scenes, talking to me, asking me, hey, Michelle, why can't you bundle something? Why can't you offer something from a distance? I believe it was you, Stacey, who came up with the idea. And you and one of our clients was like, can you scan mail to us? And it was like, yes, I sure can. And how about it's $10 extra a month, right? And there's nothing wrong with charging more for your value and also finding that value because sometimes we're so in the weeds. We need that 35,000 foot view, that vantage point from someone else to help us see what we can't see. And
Yes,
Stacey is that person. So Stacey, welcome. We are here on the No Small Business Left Behind Money Summit Lead Up. Talk to us.
Yeah, it's been, I just, 2020, that year that we speak of, it's like, it was just like being able to be engaged in this conversation of how can we make it work? Because like you said, you opened a co-working space and all of these other co-working spaces have shut down that had millions of dollars in funding. Michelle is a bootstrapper and she is still standing. So I just want to acknowledge that. So, but it's because you didn't get, you didn't give up. You didn't be like, oh, well, it's a pandemic, I can't do anything. And I think that's, really in terms of adding a zero. So there's 7 steps to adding a zero to your business. And the first thing is mindset, because of the fact that if you give up when there's a hardship, well, how many hardships are there? I mean, there's always going to be something, whether it's 2020 or, your kid gets sick or your parents get sick or, something bad happens, you have a flood in your basement, whatever it is. So really it's that mindset that you really need to switch of like, okay, I'm going to make this work. How am I going to make this work? How can I get more resourceful? And so for the people that are watching today, like you're being resourceful, you're saying, how can I make more money in my business? So I want to take you through like 3 things today that I think will be really helpful. And it's just like a little peek of that 7-step add a zero system that we're going to be talking about in 2 weeks, which is coming quickly. So the first thing is like,
I'll give you the stage. I'm going to give you the stage and I'll come back.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Well, and you're welcome to ask me any questions as we go along. So,
and I'll monitor the chat. So people, please ask questions about in and out as well. Thank you, Stacey.
Awesome. Excellent. Yeah. So the first thing is like, what is stopping you right now is the need to be perfect, the need to have everything in your life be perfect, everything in the world be perfect. It's never going to be perfect, right? So what we want to do is say, okay, how can I get out there in front of my perfect clients right now? Okay. And you can do this at any time, whether it's a pandemic or not pandemic. So what I want you to do is think about, who are my perfect clients? Now, the reason why this is important is because a lot of people just take any client. I think Michelle posted a meme this week on Facebook and Instagram that if you guys probably saw it, everybody probably laughed, right? The laughing part was, if you get a $500 client, they're saying to you, oh, please, like, I'm giving you my life savings, like, please, change my life, do everything for me, make everything perfect. But if you get a $5,000 client, they're like, oh, money's transferred, right? And so it's not that there's something different with the person, it's that attitude of when you work with the perfect clients, you're going to be working with people that appreciate you, that actually put their trust in you, and you're solving the problem that they have right now. So what I want you to do today is think about, where are your perfect clients? Where are those clients that are the 20% of who you already work with that are 80% of your profits, right? And when you start focusing on these people, that's when your business can grow very quickly. And the other thing that's great about your perfect clients is they stay for a long time. So I have had clients that have been with me for over 13 years, and it's because they're a perfect client and they keep investing, they keep reinvesting in themselves in their business. So when you find people that are a perfect fit for you, like I'm sure people that come to Michelle's office, right? They're going to stay forever because they love Michelle. They love her energy. They love the energy in the community that is there. So for her, her power space is building a community as opposed to just a place to work, right? And that's what makes it different. And that's what makes it great. So she needs to find people that are part of her community, that want to be part of a community, that want to be lifted up and lift each other up. Okay. So what you want to do is look at where these perfect clients are. Where are they on Facebook? Are they in certain groups? Are they hosting their own groups on Facebook? Where are they on Instagram, right? Are they on LinkedIn? Now, it depends on your market where your people are going to be. Your people could be on Pinterest based on what you're selling. Like if you're selling things to moms, you might want to really get going with your Pinterest boards. And then what are some of the other places that you can harness other people's audiences? So instead of just like Facebook and Instagram and doing your own marketing, where are places that you can get in front of other people's audiences? So podcasts, magazines, like I was recently in a magazine this month. And look at the places that other people have gathered your audience. It could even be a Facebook group where other people have already gathered so that you're reaching new people. Now, the one caveat I want to put to this is you want to make sure that you get people to your list, okay? Because it's very hard to keep adding a zero and adding a zero if you have to keep finding new people all the time. You want to get the people to come to your list, subscribe to your newsletter so that you actually own the traffic. Now, this was brought home to me even further this last month. I was booted off of Instagram. So I have like a whopping 47 followers now when I had like over 4,000 people. But the good thing about that is a lot of those people that were on my Instagram have come to my list because I've provided value to them that made them subscribe and give me their information. Okay, so the second thing that I want to talk to you today is about your marketing. So when you look at those people that are your perfect clients, what are the topics or buckets that they need to have information on? So I really like to look at what their pains are and what their wants are. And so, for example, for Michelle, putting on this money summit is really doing a service for her clients, because it's like, okay, what do her clients want that come to her power space? They want to get more money. They want to grow their business. So Michelle, instead of looking outwards, she's like, okay, well, I can do this. I can help them. I can put the resources together of people that I like, know, and trust, so that my people in my community don't need to go looking elsewhere, right? They're going to stay here and stay and buy in the community because she's providing resources all the time. Okay, so what I want you to think about is, what are the topics and buckets that are important to them? So, for example, like we said, Michelle, it could be money. Like I know Michelle, with one of her buckets is humor, right? Is she's always posting funny memes, funny videos, things that uplift. She's posting Black culture, things like that. And so what she's doing is she's pulling people together. She's getting them to laugh together. She's getting them to grow together and learn together. So think about what your topics and buckets would be. So like for mine, I do a lot of things that are inspirational. Like I do talk a lot about my daughter's gymnastics career, because that was something that I learned a lot from, that I'm now able to take those lessons and share those lessons in a way that helps people's businesses. We just recently built our house on a lake. And so that's more of like an inspirational, because it's funny, because I was really shy to share about my house on the lake. I can't even tell you. And my husband wouldn't even tell people that we had a house. And he's like, just tell them it's a little camp, right? So what happened is when I finally let that out there, like 3 people have now told me that, like 2 people have bought houses on a lake due to the inspiration. And the third one is like, that's on my list now that I know it's possible. And so it's just really cool when you share what you're doing, even if it feels like, oh, I'm bragging or I'm saying too much, it's going to inspire other people. And it's really important. I mean, I think we can see with the election that just passed with Kamala Harris, Vice President Harris, is she's inspired other people to now see this as possible for them. And so that's what I want you to do for your business is as your business gets more successful, as you're doing things that stretch you, whether it's reaching a sales goal that you thought that you couldn't hit, or whether it is, doing something that was scary, like, maybe you did like a speech and it was super scary, like share that with other people so that you can inspire them as well. Okay. And you want to look at what is it that makes you, like what is your unique mix that is you? And because nobody can duplicate that. And I think that's really important, that, when you do you can't be replicated or copied, right? Like Michelle's fun feed that she does on social media, nobody can replicate that. Yeah, they can share some of her stuff, but it's just not replicatable. So share what makes you. So if you're passionate, like one of my friends who's a business owner, she's passionate about cheese, right? It's a very strange thing, but she's passionate about cheese. Now, somebody else I know hates cheese, and he actually talks about how he hates cheese. Do you know Devon Brown? He's the MC, and he talks about how he hates cheese, right? So
I had to come in. I love cheese.
You love cheese? Okay, well, there you go.
I love cheese too.
And it's funny because like my friend that loves cheese talks about it and how like her dream is to go on like these cheese tours, right? And go to fancy places in France and go taste cheese. And then Devon Brown, on the other hand, he does the emceeing for a lot of the big events like ClickFunnels and things like that. And he always talks about like they had to ruin this and they put cheese on it. So people joke with him about not liking cheese. So, but it's just that unique mix, right? That makes you. See, I didn't know you like cheese. Do you like stinky cheese or just calm cheeses?
Pretty much all cheese, and the stronger the better. I absolutely love cheese, and I had no idea I had a tribe out there of cheese lovers other than my sister. So this makes me happy.
There's totally people that are into cheese, and maybe you need to have a cheese tasting at your community once everything opens up and people can eat.
Once we open outside again, for sure, we have to, and wine.
Cheese tasting. I think that would be great. It's a goal, right? When the world is back to normal. So.
But I love that you say that because the tribe matters so much, and being authentic about your desires. The thing that makes you the scariest to share or feel the scariest to share seems to be the thing that often resonates the most.
Yes. And I think that's important because, and I think it's good when you have a community around you of people that are like, I remember posting, like I said, that lake, the lake stuff. It was like really like, oh, like who am I to share that? And it felt like I didn't want to be braggy. I didn't want to make people feel bad. Like even people in my family, I didn't want to make them feel bad. And so I think it's important that if you have other people that are like, you know what, you having a big goal inspires me to believe that it's possible. And they also like, they're liking your stuff. They're commenting on your stuff. Then it's like, oh, okay. Like, I'm not alone in the world. Like this is good. But I think people try to be so, like vanilla, like they just post like, okay, I'm going to post a quote and it is going to be like a very nice quote that everybody likes versus posting things that actually connect people on a level that they're like, oh my gosh, like they get it.
That's one of the things I tell my marketing clients all the time. I'm like, when you are talking to everybody, you are speaking with nobody because no one feels like, oh, I can connect with this. And that matters. Connection. I would rather go narrow and deep, which is what you teach us how to do as well, than to go broad and shallow, and it's just people are so afraid of leaving money on the table because they're going to miss that one outlier client over there that they don't sweep in. But then they end up missing everyone who is their ideal client.
And it's funny because like I work mostly with B2B clients, right? That's who I work with. B2B, 6 and 7 figure business owners that want to go to 7 and 8 figure businesses. But I still get some B2C clients because they're like, okay, I want to work with Stacey. I like her energy. I like what she talks about. And the principles still work, right? But I really, focus my marketing on that area. But it helps you, when some of the things that you post, that you get people interacting with you, and it's like they want to be in that energy. It's like, I'm seeing your energy on the internet. Like, wouldn't that be like even more fun in person if I could go there, to join your membership or to come to your co-working space? I mean, that's exactly what we want. And that's why a lot of these businesses that were, that had funding went out of business, that were co-working spaces, because everybody was too busy being so significant, right? And putting up these false faces versus actually have a community that was inclusive and like welcoming and, helping lift businesses up, instead of like, oh, I have the best business, and like, trying to jockey for position of who was more significant.
I think they also try to be everything to everybody, right? I know we focus on side hustlers and solopreneurs. We focus on people who are doing other people's taxes in Starbucks, right? I'm really clear that we are trying to help people and provide a location, a space, and amenities, and that ability to, in other words, like add a zero before the zero comes, right? To look a little bigger than they are to their clients while they're continuing to scale and build. Right. And knowing that makes such a big difference for what we do.
Yeah. And I think also for them to have a more conducive space to do business, that they can concentrate more, they can network, there's all these wonderful benefits that come with it. The other thing I would tell you, because I know we're running short on time here, but the other thing I would tell you is what happens is that people start doing all of their marketing, right, and their social media, and they forget the thing. One thing is they're not themselves, right? The second thing is that they don't have like a focus area or buckets to talk about. So the buckets are really important. And the third thing is they don't have any call to action, right? So you always want to make sure that you have a call to action. It doesn't have to be on every post, but you want to have people join your Facebook group. You want to bring people to your website. So for example, when people come to my Facebook group, they also are joining my list so that I can continue to communicate with them, because you never know what, who might do with the stuff that
everyone knows how I feel about that guy.
That's exactly. So I don't know if there are any questions from the audience, but I'm happy to.
No, I was telling folks to ask questions for sure. If you have any questions, even if you're watching the replay, I'll still get pinged. So I will definitely make sure to get your questions over to Stacey. And of course, if you come and register for the No Small Business Left Behind Money Summit, Manifest It, Multiply It, Mind It, on February 16th, you'll also have access to the replays. So that will automatically be sent to you once you register after the event. So it's going to be very interactive. What can people expect from your workshop, Stacey?
Well, we're going to be actually digging into some of the things I teach in my Add a Zero program. So Michelle knows that I actually like to teach things when I'm on the class, not just like say things that are very vague that no one can use, because I know that everybody. Right. So I want you to actually take away stuff. Like from today, you now know, like, okay, I'm going to focus on my perfect clients. I'm going to create some buckets, focus areas, and I'm going to do calls to action. There's 3 things that you can walk away with. So we'll do the same thing. We're going to talk about messaging and strategic positioning. And that's really, really important, because a lot of times businesses are commoditized. So what happens is that you're competing with other businesses that are in the same niche as you, but a lot of times you're the smallest person in that niche, and you're like, well, how do I compete with somebody that's way bigger than me? So I'm going to share.
And at least one now.
I have clients that have gone from 6 to 8 figures since we've been working together. And so I'm going to share some of the positioning things that we did with them that really strategically positioned them that they could compete with $100 million, billion-dollar brands. So if they could do that, you can be the person that's like ahead.
I was going to say, now, come on now. That's why we're doing Aggie first, right? Because a lot of folks just heard, wait, she says 6 to 7 to 8 figures. I'm lucky if I get 4 figures a month. What is she talking about? Right? So that's why mindset comes first.
Yeah,
Because
and
to be able to work with Stacey doesn't mean you have to be a 7-figure or even 6-figure yet, because they're applicable, right? Isn't it about applying the tools and resources that you
what I
teach?
find is so important is that don't get locked up when I say 6, 7, or 8 figures. Think about like, wow, what if I knew that now instead of when I hit 6 figures or 7 figures,
Uh,
right? So
I
like
like
Mike
that.
started working with me at 6 figures. He was working so hard to get business, right? But as soon as we fixed the messaging and we're able to, strategically separate him from his competitors, all of a sudden he was able to get more clients and get more appointments. So if you could do this now when you're just starting out, like you're going to grow much more quickly and easily, which is even more important, without that hustle and grind and burnout that everybody gets. Like that's my goal for you guys.
I think a lot of us, and we're going to wrap up for sure. So if you have any questions, please put them in the comments so that I can ask Stacey before we leave, because we're going to wrap up literally in less than 2 minutes. And, I think one of the things that a lot of people focus on is that, that hustle. And it feels like I've just replaced my employer with my business. Right? Self-employed just means, oh my God, time to make the donuts again. I just happen to own a donut shop. And I love that you look at it from this very different perspective of being an entrepreneur. And how does your business work for you? And how are you able to scale without the exhaustion? I am constantly exhausted. I'm still learning and growing and looking to apply these tools myself, you know?
Yeah, and I think I've shared with you that it comes from my dad dying at 56. And, he didn't reach his goals. He didn't do a lot of the things he wanted. So for me, it's really important to give entrepreneurs back to their families and to get their lives and their freedom back. Because the whole reason why you stopped working for somebody else and started your own business was to have more freedom, right? Instead of having this crazy boss that's like, oh, me, myself, and I, right? That's worse.
Right.
Right? So we want to make sure that we can help people with strategies for that.
Well, I love it, Stacey. I'm so looking forward to your session. I appreciate you doing this live with us. I know folks will have questions from the replay as well. So definitely, you guys check out No Small Business Left Behind Summit.com, scrolling across the video right now, and you can register. And like I said, even if you can attend live, which we hope you do, but even if you can't, you'll get the replays. And needless to say, we're all on social media. You can reach out to all of us, right? Stacey Hylen on Instagram, and of course, Stacey Hylen here on Facebook. Stacey, thank you so much. I will see you in 2 weeks.
I know. I can't wait. I can't wait. Well, have a great day, everybody. And remember, don't just learn, implement.
I love it. Thank you so much, Stacey. Okay, everybody, we're going to end the broadcast. I'll see you next week with Nicole Barham. We're going to talk mind.